Well, good evening, guys and girls. Hello, how are we getting on? Sunday night, and you're back with me, Greg Clark, wearing what's, in fact, 10 points to whoever gets this team right on the in the comments section. This top came, what was it, yesterday morning, and I got it shipped from China, actually. So it's a bit of a football fanatic in terms of the football strips I like to wear. But, of course, the one I want is a Sutton one. So hopefully the club shop can sort me out sooner rather than later. Hope we're all doing well. Tonight we are joined very, very kindly by a tremendous young man who clearly has a good bit of sensibility about him to knock back the allure of supporting Arsenal and coming straight across to Sutton United. He's also an author, and if I'm led to believe, it's a very, very successful release of the book. By all accounts, the launch was a fantastic launch. It's doing very well. It is available to buy in the Waterstones website for only $7.99. That's the price of what, a pint and a half. Say you and your mate are out for a pint, and he's like, I'll only have half a pint, please. Not a problem. I'll have one. You'll have half. That'll literally cost you the same as what this book is going to cost you. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce my guest tonight. My guest tonight, Johnny Lowery. How are you doing, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks, Greg.
Oh, fantastic. It's great to have you on. We've been kind of looking for a while to get you on. Obviously, you're a very, very famous man throughout the club. In many people's eyes, you're a future chairman.
I mean, yeah, you never know. I'll probably have to stop drinking so much and the game as I am. Maybe I'll make the transition one day. You never know.
I think maybe your alcohol consumption will be in direct correlation with how they're doing on the park, maybe. But no,
I think I'm funding quite a lot of the club's budget.
Yeah, it's you yourself and the Sutton youth who are contributing to the bank balance of the bar. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, win, lose or draw, you can guarantee any sort of pennies you get from the car park from your wage in the week. It's all going in that bar.
No, that's the attitude you need in non-league. Win, lose or draw, you're still there. So yes, as I was saying, we had a little chat earlier on, and you spent the day travelling to Coventry, where I believe you're at university. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been a sort of weird last few months with the university. We broke up for Easter in March. And then with the whole lockdown thing, we just never went back.
Mm-hmm.
So my exams, I've been taking them online. That's why I've been so out of the loop. I finished my exams 2 days ago. Until then, I'd had 6 exams, still in the 2-hour limit. I sort of spend 5-6 hours a day working for them. Get something to eat, go to bed, and then repeat. So I've been completely out of the loop with everything that's happening in the football world.
That's mad.
I had to watch a bit of Bundesliga football. I've watched the odd Belarus League game, but yeah, now I'm back at uni, trying to catch up with a few mates because my final year, I won't really be in again. So last couple of weeks of my youth before I go into full-time work.
Oh, I mean, that's obviously something you're very, very proud to do, man. Being at university, those were the halcyon days for me. I left uni when I was 23, and I've regretted every day since. And yeah, the adult world's a big, big trap, so don't get too involved in it. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, just with regards to that, you were saying that obviously you've had a few exams, you've been at university doing online courses and online exams there. How else have you been keeping yourself busy during this mental lockdown period?
I mean, that's by far the majority of my time has been spent revising and doing exams. Otherwise, a bit of exercise, sort of weights. It's all fairly boring stuff. Not been much football going on. I watched a little bit in Belarus on YouTube streams. That was quite good. I'm planning to watch the rest of your series with SUFCtv. Actually, I haven't watched any of it yet.
Well, I do. If I don't say so myself, it's the most watched series in the world, and it certainly will be after this one, I hope. So yes, thanks very much. I do appreciate the fandom. It's something I've just had to get used to over this period. But yeah,
it's every single week I keep thinking, oh, that's an interesting guest you've got, and I'll have to watch that. It's every week, so I've got to watch about 10 of them now.
I might just annex myself and create my own little series, man. But that's something for another day. But yeah, like I say, obviously you've been coming to GGL for a long time, but you didn't start off your life as a Sutton United fan. Can you give us a bit of detail as to what who you supported and the reason why you left or defected from that club to join our special club here?
Yeah, so when I think I would have been 6 years old, and someone will probably fact correct me on this. I think it was the 2005 FA Cup final between Arsenal and United.
That's right, in Cardiff, yeah.
Yeah, so that was probably the first football game I can remember watching. And at 6 years old, I didn't really have any loyalties. I think I think England games I would watch, but club football I hadn't really watched anything, so I didn't have a team. Now, the Arsenal-Man United game, I thought, I hadn't even hardly heard of the two teams. I thought, whoever wins this, that'll be my team. At 6 years old, it's an interesting make. So it was Arsenal. Well, while I was in my primary school years, I mean, the team they had back then was much, much better than it is now. So sort of like I say for the glory, but I mean, I didn't really know anything else at that age. And then when I got into secondary school at the age of about 12, 13, you sort of become old enough to go out the house on your own a bit, sort of explore the world, not just sort of follow the crowds. And I thought, I want to go and watch some football. I don't just want to, look at the scores, because we didn't have a Sky subscription or anything, so I never watched any of Arsenal's games. I went to Highbury a few times, that's it. Couldn't afford to go to the Emirates at all. A £60 a ticket, plus you've got to have however many memberships, and it's just not something that most families can afford. And I mean, my dad's not an Arsenal fan, and he was never going to take me to Arsenal for £60 a ticket.
Probably the best, yeah.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And Sutton was the local club, doing quite well. My first season I started going to watch them properly was just after we'd been promoted from the Ryman League in 2011. So I would have been, still quite young, sort of 13 years old. And since then, I've sort of gradually got more and more into it. Started doing the away games when I was about 14, and by the time I was 16, I wasn't missing a single game all season. So it sort of developed very quickly.
Oh, fantastic. Whereabouts did you grow up then?
Sorry, it's just the other side of Kingston, Long Ditton. It's nothing really happens there. Quiet place. It's close to Sutton, but not in Sutton. My dad's a Middlesbrough fan. My dad's from up north, so none of the clubs around here other than... I mean, otherwise Wimbledon would have been a local team, say, but Sutton, Wimbledon, fairly equal distance, and then there's no other local team that I would have been going to watch, really, that I could afford to go and watch.
I think, if your dad's a Middlesbrough fan, then I think there's Tom Mitchell, who's our colleague here on SUFCtv, who you might know. He's a huge Newcastle fan, so that'll go down really well with him, I think. As I'm sure he's going to get in the comments section tonight. First comment of the night comes from the legendary Sohail Sahi, and he's accusing me of having a little dress sense with a no Yankees cap tonight. No Yankees cap's been retired for one night. I think as my hair's grown back since the lockdown shave, it's imperative I show it to the world, because the world just needs to see my regrown hair. So yes, but no, do keep the comments coming in, guys. Again, if it's going to be a comment on my dress sense, you're more than welcome to cane me. No one's got in touch yet to see what team this is. I mean, I'm very upset. But we do actually have a question for yourself, Johnny, from Sohail. He's got about to type it in, I believe. But as he's typing it in, we'll continue with the questions that the people have asked me to ask you. So obviously, you said you grew up near Kingston. You used to be an Arsenal fan, but the money essentially priced out of the going to Emirates. I've been to Emirates myself. It's not the most atmospheric ground in the world. I think Highbury would have been better and maybe a bigger attraction for you if you did choose to keep supporting Arsenal. But yeah, I mean, why support Robin van Persie when you can support Omar Boughiel? That's the greatest decision, really. If you're watching Omar, we all prefer you to Van Persie. So yes. So in terms of that, then before we get to the kind of crux of why you're on tonight, or just obviously to promote your book and let everyone else know the reason why it's became such a grand success. You said you've been to the away games when you were 14, you started going. What's your best Sutton United memory? What sticks out as being the best?
It's a toss-up between winning the Conference South, which this is a story, because the details of it were confusing. It looked like we were going to have 3 points deducted for having an ineligible player against St Albans. So we'd beaten Ebbsfleet the weekend before, which would have meant that we'd basically won the league had it not been the point deduction threat. As it was, we still need to win one of our last two games and then keep our goal difference in swing as well. But the news of the FA hearing came through as I was on a bus home from school, and the news was that we hadn't had the points deducted. So it basically made it champions off the pitch. And my reaction on seeing the news was to, on a packed bus, sort of stand up, get in there.
Yeah.
And then sort of, in an emotional way, sort of end up in tears. And no one had a clue what was going on this bus. So that was a bit, it was an interesting way to win a title.
Yeah, certainly is.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I mean, like, the kind of unique thing about football, and what, in my opinion, separates it from other sports, like mainstream sports in Britain, such as rugby, tennis, golf. You see grown men cry over a 17-year-old scoring a last-minute goal. Like, I mean, that's the beauty of football. So I think the fact you got emotional was it's something we actually don't really talk about.
Got emotional about football when it wasn't even at the football.
Yeah, I think getting emotional at football is the reason why it's such a euphoria. It's a nirvana, it's an elixir that you can't really be matched in anything else. So that's your best memory then, avoiding that kind of punishment. Obviously, being around GGL match day is a unique experience. I came in as a Glaswegian Celtic fan who moved to London for a career move. Then I just fell in love with the club. Just came down one day and now I'm part of the media team. But what I miss most about match day probably is climbing up the gantry. Small things like that, to then commentate. What do you miss most about match day at GGL?
Yeah, it's sort of like the routine, isn't it? I mean, the social side of things is really the main thing for me. At our level especially, you sort of know everyone by your faces, you'll know names, you'll talk to the players before the match, you'll see how they're getting on, even away from like the pitch, how the family are doing. You'll talk to people in the bar after the game. You'll have people who will stay in the bar till 8 o'clock who you're buying each other drinks absolutely smashed out your heads. And it's brilliant. Even away from the football, I mean, I'm not too bothered by the quality of football. I want us to win. I don't care if it, long ball football or sort of non-league Barcelona. Don't get me wrong, it's nice, but I could deal with anything so long as you've got the sort of social side of things going and you're not absolutely dreadful. So yeah, it's just catching up with people. You take it for granted when it's on. People who you wouldn't necessarily talk to every single day otherwise, but it'll be weird going back and all of a sudden back again. I'd say that's the thing I miss the most, just catching up with everyone.
Yeah, I think the community value can never be underestimated or understated. I mean, it's community impact. A football club being the centre of a community has been, I suppose, a pillar of society for a long, long time. It does tend, a lot of things tend to go through the football club. Excuse me. But and so I think I can totally understand why that would be your pull. In terms of then, if we go kind of jump straight into the book now. Well, actually, before I do that, there is a question from Sohail, and it's actually one I did allude to earlier on in our conversation. Do you want to be the chairman of the club one day? See, it's not just me that sees this potential, Johnny. Believe in yourself, son.
I mean, I've never really thought about it. You never know. You never know. I can't say I probably will think about it while I'm 21 years old, to be honest. Case or whatever happens.
Johnny, I'm afraid that might not be good enough for Sohail. I think it's a yes or no question, so yes or no, Johnny.
I think Bruce will be doing it for forever. It's how it seems to me. So no, I couldn't possibly say at my age whether I'll be the. I mean, on the balance of probabilities, I think it's going to have to be probably a no.
Well, yeah, that's Sohail. It's a no. So you might have to step up. You or I might need to step up to the plate now. So yes, in football history, you are correct. Anderlecht shut following the Company. I actually was at Vincent Kompany's debut. It was in 2003. It was Celtic Anderlecht in the Champions League at Celtic Park. Henrik Larsson was playing, John Hartson was playing, Chris Sutton played, Didier Agathe, Stan Petrov. That's how old I am. 27 years old, and that was it. We won 3-1, and then that's the memory of that maybe invoked me, like, kind of motivated myself to get this shirt. But I just quite like the colour, actually. I don't know about you guys. I don't know. Everyone's got their own like European or global club they adopt, don't they? They adopt it after a while because you just quite like the colour. You like a certain player that played for them. Feyenoord's actually my second, well, quote unquote, second team in Europe, the European continent. Anderlecht's maybe a close third, but yeah. Anyway, so yes, you're absolutely spot on, Anderlecht. But anyway, enough about my wardrobe. So if we crack on to, I suppose, the FA Cup run, and that's probably what has inspired you to. Well, you've all okay, you're at university, so you're clearly quite academia led. But you've written a book, and it's largely centering on, like, thematically, it's centering on the FA Cup run. So, what was the best moment of that FA Cup run for you, and what was so surreal about it?
The best moment of the cup run, I would say, controversial one, the Cheltenham match where we scored, I think, 96 minutes. Well, but at that point we were sort of thinking 1-1 against Cheltenham. We'll go to a replay at theirs and we'll probably lose, and it won't be in the third. I think it had been, someone again probably correct me, but 1993 I think was the last time we'd been in the third round. Well, then, so 5 years before I was born, and at that point in time where you couldn't see anything else, these crazy things that could have happened. All it was just, I want to get in the third round. I want to see Sutton play against a Premier League team. That was all I really wanted. I'd have taken a game against Huddersfield and that we lost 3-0 or whatever, but I just wanted to be in that third round, and I didn't think we were going to win the reeve. I mean, lack of faith. I'm a massive pessimist, but to score that goal with virtually no chance for Cheltenham to reply, it was that fantastic moment of just, we're in the FA Cup third round for the first time in my lifetime. So if I had to pick one moment, it's between that and the goal against Wimbledon, I think, which was a similar thing. But yeah, that was at the time, that was probably the best feeling, I think, in one moment.
I think when you say, I mean, just to echo, actually, Dave, we had Dave Fairbrother, the chairman, on 2 weeks ago, was it? And I was talking to him, and he was saying that, like, it's a bit of a club legendary story, how when you say that a Premier League, the idea of a Premier League club getting a bus up through the car park at Gandhi Green Lane and parking the car, parking the bus, and the players walking into to GGL. He said that they were winning 2-0 Arsenal, and his story was that Arsene Wenger told him after the game, saying, look, I mean, you're up 2-0. Why did you risk Alexis Sanchez, like, with 20 minutes to go when the game was won? And he's like, because I appreciate people with Sutton pay to get in here tonight. So it's probably the most special night in our history, and it'd be remiss of me not to provide the best players for that event. So, I mean, I totally understand. Like, it must have been utterly surreal. I mean, first of all, Leeds were big enough, obviously, an absolute giant of English football, but to then have Arsenal, I mean, that's stuff you see in Football Manager. Genuinely, do you know what I mean? Like, it's a football manager game where only then you get a chance. But in the game, Rory Deacon hit the bar from like 40 yards, didn't he?
Yeah, we gave them a game. We weren't absolutely hammers. I think that if that had gone in, Jamie Collins had a good chance. He'll probably have a go at me for this. He probably should have scored. And Max Piamu's had a couple of chances. I live about a 5-minute walk away from Max Piamu up in Coventry.
Oh, really?
I catch up with him quite often, and he always seems to. He'll always tell me the worst game of his career was his game against Arsenal. He's always seemed to regret. I mean, I don't think he was that bad, and it's not exactly an easy opponent. But we did have chances in that game. I'm not saying we could have beaten them. I mean, we did well to lose by 2 goals to 0. But yeah, we gave a great account of ourselves. I
believe so too. I remember watching it as a neutral, having no idea. Then a year or two time, I'd be working for SUFCtv. I just watched it in my house as a total neutral. I believe that was a game where Rory Deacon actually got scouted by Neil McCann at Dundee, and he then went on to play with some like top pros like Kenny Miller, Stephen Colker, who was at QPR in Liverpool. So it showed you the springboard being live TV on a Monday night and prime time slots against big clubs can do for your career. It only takes one moment in these games to really change it. But I suppose the reason now, 6 added minutes, I just want to pretty much give you the platform to tell the viewers everything here, because it's not just right now. I mean, we currently have a few people who are getting in touch with some questions about it, but people will look back in this video and they'll really ask, I mean, that's an amazing thing you've done for someone so young. Because you must have been 19, 20 when you wrote it.
Yeah, I wrote it at age 19, yeah.
19, see, 19 I was getting chucked out of spoons.
I was still getting chucked out of spoons as well, really.
Yeah, but I didn't have a book in my hand to show the bouncer letting me back in. So I mean, 6 added minutes is currently essentially like a novel written by our man here, Johnny Lowery, and it's available to buy online for $7.99, the price of a pint and a half in London if you live in London. Which I found out to my dismay. So yes, it's not expensive at all. I've had a little look through it. It is genuinely fantastic. It's also available in the club shop, Johnny, is that right?
Yeah, there's a link on the online club shop for it, and when we do eventually get back to playing football, there's copies stocked in the club shop as well.
Yeah. See for so can I have a signed copy, mate, please? And I'll put it in my dad's stocking for Christmas. What a man! Thank you very much. He would chuffed. So yes, first of all, I want to ask you what inspired you to write it.
When I first decided to write it, I just finished my exams in first year of uni, so I had about a month with nothing really to do. And I thought a lot of people, my mates from Sutton, have always said, "Oh, you should." Well, not necessarily me, but the story was so sort of surreal. It's worth writing down, especially my experience of it was having been an Arsenal fan, plus being on the car park as well, made it even more. It gave me sort of an inside view of it. So I was always encouraged to write down the stories, not necessarily to publish. I never thought I'd get it. I never thought I'd try to get it published. It was mostly just for something for me to do and something to look back on, something to pass on to the grandchildren, if you like. This is what happened. This is how crazy it was. And then sort of all spiraled from there. Then ended up getting published, which was weird.
That's amazing. I mean, going from almost having your own kind of personal chronicles of those those kind of critical junctures in Sutton's history to then having your own book, and that must be a surreal process. Do you ever pinch yourself and go, "I'm 21 and I've got a book out"? I mean, that's something. It took J.K. Rowling 20 years to write Harry Potter, man. Do you know what I mean?
It's not like Harry Potter, but
well, not yet. Wait till it's in my dad's stocking. but do you ever sit back and think? What even is the process to get it published? I don't know.
So it was. I finished writing. I started writing it when I was 19. I finished writing it just after I turned 20 over the Christmas holidays. I took a big break writing it because of uni work. So it was really just something to fill the time originally.
Yeah.
But then I sort of thought there was other stuff going on in my life that meant I sort of needed something to focus on. And I thought, well, now I've done this. I've written a book. You might as well try and get it published. And if you don't, you don't. And at least you've tried. It was didn't take me long because the companies we approached were fairly local. It's a publishing company based in Guildford, so they sort of they knew the story. They knew it would not necessarily sell well all over the country, but it might be something that would be of interest around the local area, and they were happy to take it on. So it's just a few emails, a couple of face-to-face meetings, and then the actual process of having agreed to have it published, to getting the cover done, and I mean, I've probably added about 5,000 words to it through sort of various comments made for me to improve it. So it changed a lot throughout the publishing process. It's only 45,000 words in total, so quite a lot of it wouldn't have been there originally. So it took a while from when I agreed to have it published. I didn't tell anyone initially, so I kept it quiet for a while, and then eventually, it must have been over a year between arranging to have it published and then the game where it came out against Bromley.
Yeah. I suppose, despite your youth, I mean, I think it's important to have people, stories like yourself, to maybe aspirational authors, writers out there who maybe lack that confidence to maybe say they've got, for example, content written down on bits of paper, and they're struggling to actually have the confidence to approach people to say, look, maybe I like this, so do my family, so do my friends, so do certain cross sections in society. Maybe everyone else would. So, do you know what I mean? I think you're a fantastic story for any aspirational, even people at uni who lack the confidence for that kind of stuff. It's an incredibly courageous thing you've done.
Yeah, I mean, the worst thing that can happen if you ever try and get something published is they can say no. I think the best advice that I'd give is that if it's something you enjoy writing about, if you want to be a football writer and you like writing about football, go for it. You're enjoying it anyway. You've not lost anything, and if it happens to go well, I mean, you might get a publisher fairly small scale, like I have, writing about Sutton being published locally, or you might be really good and end up being one of the most famous football writers in the country. Anything can happen, and if you're enjoying it, it's probably going to be pretty decent.
Can I ask you a question? Does Big Ryan read it on the bus to away games?
Big Ryan read it on the bus to away games. I mean, I've tried to encourage it. He does have a copy. We never get the bus to away games. So always the 7 a.m. train out King's Cross.
Well, Ryan, if you're listening, that's a klaxon. That's a klaxon for you to up your reading game and get a wee read on that. But those trains don't always need to be Carling induced, So anyway, so yeah. And what kind of feedback have you had, like from the support, or people who maybe like who don't even support something? Like what's the kind of general feedback been like?
It's honestly been fantastic. I get comments when I'm working on the car park, and I genuinely appreciate every single one of them. I probably look quite a lot of the time like I'm not, because I'm always car park is. It's a very like dull job, let's say, and
a transient place.
My mind is switched off. So whenever people sort of, I'll take comments in, but like, yeah, I probably never seem as grateful as I am for the comments I get, and I do really appreciate everything that's been said about it. It's been much more positively received than I thought it would have been.
Yeah.
And it's selling reasonably well outside of the club as well. So I can't complain. I mean, it's not exactly a nationwide bestseller, but it's doing much better than I thought it was. So very pleased with how it's gone.
Fantastic, man. I mean, like I say, like I've had a little flick through it, and I've spoken to my team at SUFCtv about it as well. What was kind of struck by was the themes within the book seem to be a kind of juxtaposition between the struggle of being a teenager, like in terms of adult social group integration, like emotional development and physical development, like the struggles that they all go through, like school attainment, school attendance in some respects too. And it seems to be almost like directly correlating with the fluctuating fortunes of Sutton on the pitch. Like, is that what you kind of aimed for? Yeah, so it was sort of one of the sort of things I wanted to get across in it is that my sort of happiness and even my social integration through a lot of my sort of younger teenage years pretty much was through the football. Yeah. The school I went to was it's very sort of upper middle class, which I wasn't used to from where I'm from, where my primary schools was like. So it was a lot of, you wouldn't have many people into football. A lot of it would be rugby, cricket. Our school didn't have a football team, didn't have a football club, nothing. There was no football at all. And it was all a bit weird. All boys school, so it sort of became very, very competitive in a sort of masculine way. And I never really fit into that sort of environment. So I'd more and more rely on the out of school stuff, like the football. Yeah. So it was a lot of what I was sort of including in the book was how I developed as a person through watching the football. And you're right to say that like there's a correlation between how I was feeling and how Sutton were doing on the pitch. Massively at the time. I'd have, if Sutton had won the game at the weekend, it would have been a great week, and if Sutton had lost, it would have been a pretty terrible week, which isn't necessarily healthy. And that's something I'll touch upon, I think, in my second book when I get around to working on that. But it makes a sort of interesting, I guess, the sort of interesting side story to the football itself. Yeah, I think the more I kind of think about it, the more like I suppose subconsciously, maybe I don't know if it was subconscious or unconscious in the way you wrote it. It does seem to kind of very loosely touch on the kind of mental health. What I would call an epidemic around the world. It's touching everyone. It's very prevalent, and it's brilliant. It's so prevalent nowadays. It's saving lives. Obviously, without going too deep into it, was that something that maybe you were kind of touching on based on experience, based on something that maybe that you feel you could express yourself via the medium of writing? Yeah, definitely. So the fact that I was writing, I suffer from depression, so I have personal experience of mental health. So writing it, I always feel like I need something to do to motivate myself. So I guess when I initially started writing it, just the fact that I was writing it was something to do with mental health. And then I tried to put a little bit. I didn't put too much in the book. It's not like a huge theme throughout it. It crops up every now and then. Yeah. But it sort of bends into the background a bit. It's part of a lot of people growing up. I think most people will experience some sort of mental health issue over their lives. And I think your teenage years, when there's so much changes, you sort of you don't know who you are as a teenager, especially 13, 14. You're sort of learning about yourself. So it goes hand in hand with the football. The football was sort of how I would
I say find myself. It's a very sort of dull, cliched term.
Yeah, of course.
Better way to put it off the top of my head, but yeah, it's all sort of, it all goes into the same sort of melting pot, really. And football was always a way I could cope with. If you had a crap week, even now, if I have a crap week, I go to the football on the Saturday. Everything's absolutely fine. I don't worry about anything else. I don't think of anything else. My mind is literally on the football. It's just on the football, which is great. I mean, even if it's a game we do lose, then you've had from when you wake up till the 5 p.m. and then if you're still with your mates after the game, I don't tend to mind so much. Certainly now I'm getting older, I'm sort of learning more that actually the football doesn't matter too much. It matters, but not. You don't want to sort of invest too much into it. So I can happily sort of, if we suffer a defeat, I won't let it ruin my weekend quite so much as, I mean, as I'd have said in the book, like it used to when I was sort of 14, 15.
Yeah, of course. I think I'm not alone in applauding you for being so open and courageous about your, I suppose, the mental health struggles you've experienced in the recent past, and how it's manifested itself in you creating a very successful book. I mean, I think it's very important to be an iconoclast and pioneer a certain narrative and rhetoric of men being very open about their mental health struggles, because it ultimately does save lives. That's a fact. Talking is a very natural therapy for mental health struggles. I mean, personally, if I ever had a friend like that, first thing I would do is sit them down and go for a coffee, because it can really help. And then it's really interesting because you hear footballers talking about it. You hear the likes of Aaron Lennon, who has suffered in the past. Craig Bellamy, who you think is this more machismo, very much a don't mess with me type figure. He's been very open on Sky Sports recently about how he's really struggled. And ironically, he actually works for her. He's actually assistant manager to Vincent Kompany at Anderlecht. So it's a coincidence I'm winning the top tonight. No, I've got to applaud you for that. It's a very, very noble thing you're doing to raise awareness of that, albeit subconsciously in the book. But of course, as Johnny has just told us there, he's writing a new book, which is, I believe, going to focus more on mental health problems, Johnny, yeah?
Yeah. So I'm sort of writing about mental health and football at the minute. It's all, in theory, interview-based, and there's not been much scope for interview over the last few months, obviously, with lockdown, so it's sort of on hold, which would have been the case with exams anyway. It's interesting how the game's changed with regards to mental health. Every sort of interview that I've looked up or read up on, even sort of maybe even 10 years ago, if you were a footballer suffering from mental health problems, you wouldn't really get much help for it from your club. I don't think. Certainly, you wouldn't get much sympathy from the supporters. No. There's still elements of that now, but I think it is coming a long way. The fact that you've got so many people speaking up, there's loads as well. Aaron Lennon, Craig Bellamy. You've got Neil Lennon's written a lot about it. He's also, for example, you've got Danny Rose spoken up about it. Chris Kirkland, just like reading their names off the top of my head. It's something as well. Like the supporter level, like you say, if you've ever got a friend who's suffering, go sit down with a coffee. The group we've got at Sutton is fantastic for that. I think my closest mates at Sutton, I feel I could turn to any one of them, and I think they all know they could turn to me. So football has a great power to sort of help with mental health problems. We're going the right way. We're on the right track. There's still a long way to go. There'll definitely be elements of, I think a lot of people will always, so from the interviews I've done so far, the sort of hyper masculinity can occasionally be a problem. It's not necessarily always a bad thing, but it can be in certain cases. So there's still work to do for football in just a mental health perspective. But it's definitely going the right way, and it's an interesting story to read, and it'll be an interesting thing to write about.
Yeah, I think many media outlets are now leading the conversation on mental health and making sure it's top of the agenda. When the FA, they get a lot of criticism and stick the FA, but with all credit to them, they are leading the way in a sporting sense of mental health. And even I think last week, Prince William commissioned on a documentary on the BBC, speaking to Joe Hart, who again you wouldn't think would have been through things like that. I think as people in the media, you've got a responsibility to shape the conversation, and of course, as an author yourself, you'll understand that if you speak about it, you could be saving a life. You genuinely could be. Like see if you, I suppose, verbalise how you feel, and what a mistake I made in the past, and you've just alluded to it there. Actually, I don't know how many people listening today will take any note of this, or how relevant it would be. But there was a time, maybe 2017, where Celtic were having their most successful season, pretty much, not of all time because they won the European Cup. But Celtic went a full season unbeaten. Like it was called the Invincible season. Brendan Rodgers was manager. They're in the Champions League. But my entire week was based on the result. And I often think I was in quite a lonely place at the time. I just left uni. I just looked for a job. Luckily, my dad was able to give me some employment for the time being. But I was feeling a bit lost. Then I remember thinking at the time, I'm too reliant on Celtic at the weekends. I am too reliant on them winning. Luckily enough, it just happened to be the year where it was a stellar year. You know, it was a stellar year. We're winning every week. I do often wonder where I would have been if Celtic were losing more often. I genuinely wonder that, like thinking, because you think you're pathetic for thinking like that, but if that's what you're thinking, you can apologise to nobody. You know,
it's an easy trap to fall into. It's certainly, when I was 14, 15, we had a season where we came, it was the year before we won the league, we came sort of 15th, 16th in the league. I sort of mentioned in my book as well, where the girl who I'd been talking to at the time, Chloe, had just moved abroad to Austria. So then you lose that part of your life, and you try to compensate by banking all on the football and trying to, you almost sort of ignore other things. You don't try and, certainly I didn't concern myself too much with looking to expand my life. I was just, right, this is it, this is what I'm doing now. So there is a sort of negative, almost like an addiction. But it's manageable. It's not like, if you have an alcohol addiction, that's you give up alcohol, that's the only way you can recover. It's not like that with football. I'm more confident now that I go and watch Sun at the weekend, and the week I don't tend to think about it too much. I won't burn myself. Even if something that I need to do to help myself is just not to look through all the stuff in the news, not to look at the Twitter feed, not to worry about who we have and haven't signed or who we haven't renewed contracts for or anything like that. If that helps, it helps. Most people won't have that problem. It's probably like most people will have some problem or another, but not necessarily a sort of over-reliance. But it's definitely, it definitely can happen,
And of course, if anything, Johnny and I have been discussing in the last 5 or so minutes is, if you've been affected by any of those things, do please reach out. And if you need, there are resources online, of course, we can refer you to. And then, of course, Johnny mentioned the club is very good at providing a chat room, providing a safe space for people to talk about their mental health. And if you do have any more questions, please do get in touch with anyone at SUFCtv at all, and or Johnny, of course. I'm sure he'd be happy to help as well. So yes, again, we need to applaud you, myself and the listeners must applaud you for being so open about it. It does provide a beacon of light for those who maybe are suffering in silence. So anyway, more on the book then. It's clearly been, how long has it been on the market for?
So it came out in November, late November.
Yeah. So it's that's just shy 6 months. 6 months, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so of course, you then found a publisher. In terms of, so we've touched a wee bit on next steps. So obviously it's been had great successful feedback from around the football world. I suppose one thing I wanted to ask you is, I've seen pictures of you with Tim Vine on your Twitter page. Now I get confused between Jeremy Vine and Tim Vine. Who's funnier out of the two?
Who's funnier out of the two? I mean, Tim's a comedian, so I'm probably gonna have to vouch for him on this one. I've only actually met Jeremy once.
Yeah.
Whereas Tim, I'm sort of, I know, I wouldn't say I know fairly well. I see him quite often. He comes down to the club a lot more often, and every time he does, I have to get him parked in the car park. So I'll always have a little bit of conversation with him. We're not exactly best mates or anything, but I've met Tim a lot more times than Jeremy, so I'll have to vouch for him on that one.
Does Tim get down to the games that often?
He does. Every weekend he's free, but bearing in mind he has a lot of sort of, when he's on tour or if he's doing stuff with Panto, then he obviously don't have many free weekends. So I reckon he comes down about 4 or 5 times a season at least, which is, it's always lovely when he does. Like, obviously, like a great person to have a conversation with. Keeps your nose. I remember we interviewed him before. I can't think what it was for now. But it was when we were quite young. Me and a mate. We would have only been about 14, and I think my mate Gabriel misspoke one of the questions and got the absolute piss taken out of him for the rest of the year. So he dropped his nose. He didn't let us eat away easily. So yeah, it's always good to see him down.
I think sometimes the most savage comedians can actually be the nicest and friendly. Like, I've met Frankie Boyle once, and I thought he must be brutal, but he was actually the loveliest guy I've ever met in my life. So yeah, but that kind of does, dovetail in quite nicely into my next question. In terms of the kind of, obviously for the last book, who would be the best, the kind of most influential, I suppose, high-profile figures in football you've spoken to with regards? It doesn't even need to be about the book. Who have you met within football that's really given you an inspiration to go, wow, this is why I love football?
That's a tough question. The actual... You
can say me if you want. I mean, we met in the car park one day, and I believe I am quite inspirational, but you can text me later about that.
No, I do remember our conversation in the car park, and one of the many conversations I've had in the car park over the years. The book itself, I didn't really... there was no sort of interview content in it, so there wasn't anything specific to that. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, obviously, I used to when I was very young, I used to interview Doz for SUFCtv before. Yeah. Well, you got a proper team doing it.
Don't know about that.
So that was always interesting. It was great to talk to him. There was some of the long away games up north. I'd travel sort of by chance with the team, and he's always interesting to talk to. Matt Gray is a fantastic person to talk to. Massive fan, really nice guy. I think he's a fantastic manager, doing really well on a tight budget. Football figures generally that have inspired me. I think I'll talk about some writers that I've sort of read before I wrote my stuff. In fact, the Bromley boys. This is going to be controversial given their local rivals, but I forget the name of the bloke who wrote it now, which is really bad. Dave Roberts, but. Yeah, that was... So I read all of his books before I started writing. So in terms of who my writing sort of is based on, I say his books are obviously writing about a club at a similar level. It's a similar sort of story of awkward teenage years is probably the key sentence. And then watching football as sort of an escape at the weekend. It's quite a similar story other than ours is a tale of success, whereas Bromley Boys is a tale of a team that didn't win a game all season. Yeah. But yeah, that's probably my main writing inspiration, or was at the time that I wrote.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah. Like say, are you a big fan of podcasts as well, like football podcasts?
I'm not actually, to be honest. I'm definitely catching up on that sort of side of things. When I'm at uni, my course is hectic. And especially...
sorry to interrupt again. What does he actually study?
Economics.
Economics, wow.
Yeah, they always keep us busy in that. And then the time I sort of get off, I'll sort of look to almost actively do nothing.
Yeah.
Because I just want to relax.
Quite the oxymoron there. Actively do nothing, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But it always seems to be. I'll get in at like 7 o'clock in the evening some days and think, well, there's absolutely no way I'm going to do something like educational almost. But I'm catching up with football podcasts for the research I'm doing on the second book I'm writing. Yeah. I'm left with little choice really. So I have a whole load of things that I've got favorited on my computer browser. Yeah. That I'll eventually get around to watching. Now I've got time on my hands basically.
Cool. In terms of obviously, I'm sure having read the first book, when can we expect to see the second book? Do you think?
Not for a while. Hate to disappoint, but it'll probably be at least a few years. I'm aiming for about 20 chapters, so 20 different subjects almost. But probably need 3 or 4 people interviewed per chapter, so I've got to talk to about 60 people. And my weekends, I'm probably going to have to sacrifice some Sutton games, which is unheard of.
Don't do that. Don't say that. Come on. Don't break the hearts. Come on. Who's going to man the cars?
I'm not even doing that next year now. That's club news. I've stepped down. I'm working full time next year, so I just won't have the time basically.
Oh, fantastic, man. Just leave it to Big Ryan by himself.
Yeah, well, they put an advert up for next car park manager on the website, and I thought, well, Ryan's got 5 years' experience, so they'd be missing a trick if they didn't have him do it. But yeah, no, he'll do a good job in my absence, I'm sure.
There's a recommendation from James King here for your new book. He recommends that you should interview Sohail for one chapter. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, could do. I don't see why not.
Sohail's a very experienced World Cup commentator and European Championships. Isn't that right, Sohail? Come on, identify yourself. Come on, let everyone hear your name. Come on, give us a story, Sohail. So yes, like I said, there's a few comments here tonight, which I should probably touch on. Thomas Mitchell agrees that purple footy kits are the best. I agree, Tom. You know, I really do agree. The nirvana of football kits. I got this from Kit Locker. It's a guy on Instagram. I don't really know. I don't know him, but I put my faith in him that this was going to turn out all right. And it's 25 quid. You see people paying 150 for these kits, and it'll be worth £1,000 in about 5 years. So yeah, I struck where the iron was very, very hot there. So yes, a guy called Joel Shepherd who has got in saying, "Eh la, scouse trap on the beat." Okay, if anyone knows, do you know who Joel Shepherd is?
Do I know who Joe Shepherd is? I'm afraid it's going to be one of those where I probably do, but I don't know the name. I see too many faces on car park and not enough names. So.
Well, Joe, you know what? See next season, meet me in the car park for something else, all right? Anyway, so yeah. So as I'm saying, there's a few recommendations there. Do you have any more questions at all for our Johnny here? Please do fire them in the live chat because we're reaching the climax of the interview, and it's genuinely been quite... It's been eye-opening for different reasons. I don't know if obviously the primary aim here was to promote your book, and I like to think we've done that here, and give people a bit more insight. But I don't know if people actually knew why you wrote it and like what the kind of what I suppose the real primary and internal motivations were for doing it. Obviously, I've met you a couple of times. I've never have known. Actually, you've struggled mentally with mental illness in the past, so it's very, very good for you to be so courageous and brave about it, and we genuinely do thank you. Yeah, I think you're the first person, well, certainly I've interviewed to be so open and brave about it, so thank you. So yes, if you have any more... Say again, Johnny?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. It's been really good conversation. Sorry to interrupt.
No, not a problem. Yeah. I think people want to hear you more than me anyway. So yeah, I just kind of rabbit on for too long. That's been 47 minutes of total, very, very engaging debate. We do have a question from James King. Now he said, "Tell us about your first Gandermonium style away day. If I remember rightly, was it not Woking away 2018?
Gandemonium style away day.
Yeah, whatever that means definitively. I'm
guessing by Gandemonium style away day it's going to be one where I'm on the beers quite heavily. In which case it would have been a lot before 2018. That's a good question actually. I'm off the top of my head. I feel like it would have been one of the Hemel Hempstead games. Not the FA Cup one, though, because I'll have to think about that. I'm going to say Hemel win the FA Cup, but not the first one. So this I would have been 16, I think, 16, 17, where we drew with them and then beat them in the replay. I would have been 17. I think that I'll go with that for now. But there'll probably be something I've missed off. It's impossible to think when you're trying to think of something that you can barely remember.
Yeah, I feel like this kind of feels like when in Gavin and Stacey when they don't talk about the fishing trip. I feel like there's something you're not telling me here, Johnny.
If I tried to think of the first away game where I was like really, really drunk, I survived the Hemel day.
Well, do slide into my little DMs later, man. You can discuss it with me because I'm quite keen to hear about it now. My curiosity has been piped up to maximum levels here, big man.
I'm going to have to. Macclesfield away I'm always a mess at Macclesfield away because it's 2 hours to from London, loads of pubs and it's cheap. It's a recipe for disaster.
Oh, brilliant, man. I was up at Stockport actually last season. It's a really nice ground actually up there. But again, let's just say it's not the most salubrious part of Manchester, or it's just outside Manchester. So
really nice. If you go to where the old town was, that was quite nice. And then where the ground was is sort of the more like working class area where like football grounds are realistically in most towns. But yeah, you can find a few good pubs in Stockport, and even the pub near the ground. Actually, I don't have a clue what it's called, but
County Ground. I think it's called the County Ground. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was a really good pub. You'd think maybe playing a sort of big club, someone that's played Championship League One football before, going into the pub next to the ground, get a bit of stick off them. But they were really friendly, sort of. You're having a chat with all the locals before the match. Which, maybe sort of in the 1980s, 1990s, you definitely wouldn't have got. I really enjoyed Stockport. I thought that was a great away day.
Yeah, I mean, I think the National League's full of great away days, man. Notts County's one I really regret missing.
Yeah,
but then again, I mean, hopefully next season, if we're allowed to go, we can go together, mate. So moving on. Robert44 has got in touch. He's asked, do you think if the season continued, we'd have got into the playoffs?
I don't think so. I think we were too far away. But I think if we keep the core of this team, and then, I mean, even if we had the same team from this year going into next year, I think we'll definitely be pushing for the playoffs. We've got a lot better over the course of the season. The younger players, David Adjaboy has gone from flashes of brilliance to being brilliance every game.
Yeah.
There's one specifically to pick as someone who's improved over the season. You've got players like Harry Beatman. If we can keep him, I mean, I'm not sure. I don't even know because I've not been following the news. I don't know if he's on. I don't know what's happening with him. Whether he's under contract or not, I don't have a clue. But if we do keep him, he's a fantastic player for this level. You've got obviously Craig Eastman's under contract, fantastic player at this level. So we've got a good team. So I don't think we'd have got in the playoffs this year. I think we were too far away from the bad start we had. But definitely, I reckon we can push next year if we keep this team together. I
think Harry Beatman, anytime I commentate, I mean, I feel like anything Sutton do creatively seems to go through him. I think he is probably one of the players that can move on. That could genuinely play at a higher level. I know he was at Northampton a couple of years ago, but I think he's got potential to be really good. David Adjaboy, it must be one of the happiest guys I've ever met. Honestly, he's just always buzzing. Like you sit down with him for an interview, and he's just smiling the whole time. I'm like, why are you this happy? Teach me your ways, mate.
He's got a loving life. It's really good. You can tell in a player as well when they're enjoying themselves playing their football. He's so creative. He's not worried about making a mistake or anything like that, and it shows in the way he plays. Those are the sort of players you want at your club, especially on the wing. You know, you're not going to get much better at this level, I don't think.
No, 100%. And then I sat down with Omar. He just joined. I think he was at Bromley as well, but he just joined in the summer, and I came down to interview him. And the first thing he was telling me was like, "Oh, you're Scottish, aye." One of my mates who plays for Falkirk last year is like, he just been on Love Island. I think Omar at the start of the season was more focused on trying to be on Love Island than actually playing. But no, I think that's now been reversed now. So Omar, if you're listening, you've turned it around, big man, immensely. Well done. So a few questions here from James. Actually, James has been prolific in the questions tonight. If you could have a pint of anything, what would you order?
A pint of anything, Star Ramen.
Star Ramen or Czech beer, that's nice, I like it.
I guess the cleverest answer to that question would be vodka or something if you get a pint of it. But
yeah, just supply your own softies, it'd be fine, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and second question. So here at James, pint of Star Ramen. Second question by Mr. King. Your top 3 Sutton players of the Dawes era?
Yeah, tough question. I sort of probably... I don't want to give too many answers from the more recent players, which would be the sort of natural thing to do, given our team was much better. Once we finished in third in the National League, you probably have to pick 3 players from that team. If I'm going to give a balanced answer, you've got to say Craig Dundas.
Yep.
Like, that's just a fact. There's no way I can leave Craig Dundas out.
I mean, he's a personal trainer. I just want to see every one of his clients, man. They must be ripped. If he's anything to go by.
He's been at the club the whole way through the time I've been watching, barring I think maybe 1 year he had out. So that's someone who's been constant the whole way. My favourite player in my first season was Alan Bray. So this would have going back about 10 years now. But he was a fantastic defender, but so many injuries.
Yeah.
Which meant I reckon he could have played. I mean, I might be misremembering, obviously, because I was quite young at the time. But I reckon he could have played Football League easily if he wasn't injured so much. Fantastic player when he was playing. And then I'll go with someone more recent for the third player. I'll say Harry Buteman because hard between Harry Buteman and Jamie Collins, because Jamie Collins. I can never pick three. This is a harsh question.
I've kind of put you on the spot here, to be fair. Yeah,
I'll go with Harry Buteman because he's again, his first spell with the club was when I was very young as well, and then he's back now. So that's a tough one. There's so many other players I could say. Honestly, Max Biamu, I could easily say Roy Deacon, fantastic.
That opinion is echoed by Thomas Mitchell, who says Max Biamu, what a player. Yeah,
Max Biamu as well. Like, even though he was I think the only reason I wouldn't name him in my three is because he played one season. But I think the best player, like single best player I've seen, in terms of like what they've gone on to achieve, would probably be Max Biamu, because if Coventry are given their title, then he'll be a Championship player next season. And obviously Nicky Bailey's before Sutton, after Sutton, or again was playing at that level successfully as well.
Was he not in Middlesbrough? Yeah.
Yeah. I used to come watch him at Middlesbrough quite a lot.
Of course, yeah, you would do. Aye. It's funny you mentioned Harry Buteman there. I've got him on Instagram. Honestly, I feel like I've been in that guy's house the amount of times he posts on it. Honestly, I think he's got a hot tub at the back, man. I'm thinking, when's he going to have the boys round? For a big party, man. So Harry, if you're listening, you're overdue a big party in your back garden, and we all want to be there. So yes, well, that's a very comprehensive answer you gave there to James King's query about the top three Sutton players of all time. Well, sorry, of the Dawes era. I suppose that brings us to the ultimate question now. As anyone who watches my interviews knows, I like to round each interview off with a very, very hard question, in my opinion. And this question is, if there's not any more pending comments in the live chat, I'll just jump right to it. I hope you're ready, because I gave you a couple of hours notice, Johnny. So I really hope you're planning for this. Okay.
I've been trying. I've pretty forgotten everything I came up with earlier now. But
Cool. So you're in a car, and Sutton are again qualified for the Scottish Iron Brew Challenge Cup, right? As compared a couple of years ago. You draw Inverness, Caledonian Thistle again, right? I know. But you need to drive up there. It takes about 15 hours. Which four celebrities, dead or alive, do you pick to join you on this journey up to Inverness?
This question, when you mentioned it originally, reminds me of the 12-hour journey we had up to Glasgow for the Iron Brew Cup. So yeah, that's right,
mate. God's country, God's city of God. Mm.
4 people. Number one, mine are all alive because I didn't really. I'd already thought of them now. So we'll stick with it. Thierry Henry would be number one.
Thierry Henry, yeah. Va voom. Good to have a car. Yeah.
Absolute sort of just amazing. From when I was watching Arsenal, he was the guy I would have been most starstruck by. I actually saw him when I was working at Wimbledon. And this is one of my biggest life regrets. I would have been 18 working. It was my second last day, and they're very strict. I was working security. You're not allowed to talk to celebrities. You're there to protect them. You're not allowed to talk to them. So they walk past, and you've got to stop people trying to get photos with them, basically. And so I wasn't allowed to talk to him. And he walked right past me. He left the men's final early to try and avoid the crowd, and I was on some other court.
Oh, you mean the tennis? I think you meant like AFC Wimbledon.
No, I was working at tennis, and there's always loads of celebrities at the tennis, and I was one of the areas I was working was the VIP area, so you'd see a lot of famous people, but you couldn't talk to them. And Thierry Henry walked right past my face, and honestly, I'd have lost my job if I'd said anything. But they have to pay you for the hours you've already worked, so I'd have only lost 12 hours pay. And looking back, I should have sacrificed that 12 hours pay just to say hi, you were amazing when I was watching you, and I was like, just that would have been worth the 80 quid, but I regret that now.
The question on all of our lips, did he smell nice?
He was too far away.
Oh, come on, Johnny. I reckon he's more of a Calvin Klein man, isn't he? You can just tell, man. He loves a bit of sauvage in the morning.
He'd have been prepared for any occasion. So
okay, so he's in the front seat. Who are in the back? 3 people.
So I would have, well, definitely in the back seat with his guitar, I'd have Grant Nicholas from Feeder.
Oh yeah.
My favourite band by a long way. They're probably older than me as well. Feeder. They've been around.
They've been around a long time.
Yeah, they've consistently. There's not many bands, even the sort of greats of like Oasis would have had maybe 1 or 2 good albums, and then their last 3 albums were pretty terrible.
I will absolutely hold you to account on that.
I'm a big Oasis fan, but I don't. After the first 3 albums, I'll give you first 3.
Okay, but I think I do know what you mean. Like, see, I think they did fall off a cliff. I actually went to one of their last ever gigs. So when I was 16, sorry, I grew up in Glasgow, obviously, but they came to Murrayfield where the Scottish rugby team play, and that's in Edinburgh. So me and my mate dogged school one day, and just got a couple of cans, and I got the train through to Edinburgh, and that was one of the last ever gigs. And Liam, the funny thing about that was Liam stormed off stage, and you could see Noel just like looking at him, going, "What's he doing again?" Like, there's always much more I can take in this. So I personally take responsibility for them breaking up.
That would have been amazing. So, I mean, I've missed, like, obviously Oasis broke up before. I would have been the age where I could go and watch that sort of thing. And yeah, that would have been an amazing gig to see.
It was pretty sensational. So, sorry, that was Grant Nicholas.
Yeah, for number 2. Yeah, just their music's fantastic. I wouldn't need a radio if you had him in the back with a guitar. So that would be my second.
I hope you're feeling a moment right now. But no one.
Number 3. Okay. I'm going to go with a writer for number 3. Writer Michael Calvin. I've read most of his books. One of his books is quite similar to what I'm writing my next one on, State of Play. If you want to sort of see more vaguely what I'm going to be writing about, State of Play is fairly like close. I wouldn't say I'm basing it entirely on that. I want to obviously do my own thing. That's sort of almost a blueprint, but not quite. His books are fantastic. He'll pick a topic that you wouldn't think you could write too much about, and write hundreds of thousands of words, and everything's interesting. So I'd love to be able to pick his brain. I try and learn a lot by reading all his books, and he'd be a fantastic person to talk to. His stuff, I thoroughly recommend anything by Michael Calvin. So I'm not on commission or anything, but he's honestly well worth a read, especially if you're bored in lockdown. State of Play is a very good book. Family is a fantastic book. That's based on Millwall. And then he wrote one about scouting, which one of the topics you wouldn't think you'd be able to write a book about, the Nowhere. That was fantastic. There's one of his books I haven't read yet, which I'm going to start now I finished exams. I think that's probably the only one I'm missing, which is about football managers, which will be one of my topics for my next book. So yeah, he'd be an interesting person to talk to about my writing side of things.
Nice. And finally, who'd be the 4th passenger?
Who'd be the 4th? I think on a 15-hour journey, you'd need someone to sort of lighten the mood. So I'd go with a comedian. I'm not going to say Tim Vine.
I was going to say that's too obvious, mate.
It's too obvious. I've met him many times before, so I think I'd go with someone I wouldn't otherwise have the chance to meet. If one comedian, I'd go with David Mitchell from my Peep Show fandom. He'd be an I'd like, if I could say Mark Corrigan in the car, that would. Yeah. But yeah, I'd go with a comedian. He's got a sort of a similar cutting, sarcastic sense of humour.
I'm gonna have to level with you here, Johnny. I've never seen Peep Show.
You've never seen Peep Show?
Never at all, mate. No, but I might go watch it tonight.
That's got to be one of like the British classics. It's hilarious. It's so you get comedies like stuff like Skins, which are the in-betweeners is always the realistic version of Skins, right? Peep Show is just the realistic version of life.
If you want a little insight into what I was like at school, just watch In-Betweeners and focus on Jay Cartwright. That's what I tried to be. I even had a ridiculous Barnett.
The In-Betweeners encapsulates every single person in secondary school in some way. That in 4 characters is fantastic. It's the realistic version of secondary school. Yeah, Peep Show is just a realistic version of life, I'd say, in a sort of pessimistic way. But so that's me all over. So David Mitchell for the humour element of the journey is my 4th person.
Lovely. Well, that's a pretty eclectic mix of people there. That's Thierry Henry, Michael Calvin, Grant Nicholas, and David Mitchell. That's pretty impressive. Well, I think that rounds it off quite. That dovetails into the kind of concluding statement quite nicely. Thanks everyone for your contributions to the live chat. It does very much help with any interviews we do, but mostly I think we all owe Johnny here a great deal of gratitude for being so open and having such a powerful message regarding mental health. Of course, it's a topic that it's very prevalent in today's day and age. It dominates a lot of social media headlines and social media narratives and commentary, and absolutely rightly so. And I must reinforce the message, there are resources that Sutton United actually offer in terms of a community feel. They offer support groups, as Johnny will, I'm sure, be happy to tell you himself. So, but yeah, without further ado, it's been fascinating to hear about your kind of author, your exploits as an author. I'm sure your next book's going to be even better than the first one, if that's even possible. So yeah, Johnny, I've got to say thanks very much for coming on. It's been fascinating.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I've really enjoyed it. Just to emphasise on your point there as well about the support networks at Sutton, there'll be, I guess, people young and old watching this. There's always people at Sutton. If you want to talk about mental health, there'll always be people there for you. If there happens to be anyone watching who isn't a regular at Sutton or hasn't particularly sort of experienced the club quite so much, I definitely recommend it. It's such a community feel, like you say. It's a huge help if you ever need any help. I can't recommend it enough. The club as a whole, really. And yeah, thanks for having me on. It's been fantastic.
Not a problem. And like I say, if anyone does want to reach out to Johnny or myself, you absolutely know you'll follow me on Twitter. And yeah, just drop me a DM, and I'm more than happy to respond to it. Doesn't matter what time of day it is. I'm sure Johnny will be the exact same. Well, thanks very much, Johnny. It's been a pleasure, and we will reunite very, very soon, hopefully.
Yeah, definitely.
Cheers, Johnny. Thank you very much now.
Cheers, thanks a lot. Bye.
So, guys, what I will say now is it's been absolutely great to be your host again tonight. It's something I am very, very privileged to do, to be the leader of the voice of reason, I'm sure you will all call me. Yep, thank you very much. Great show, guys. Not a problem, Thomas. That's what we're here for. So I hope you enjoyed my new drip tonight. And it's an Andalite top. It came all the way from China. And it's something I'm going to wear to bed every night for the next 3 months. So yes, without further ado, guys, hope you stay safe, obey the lockdown rules, and of course we're living in quite strange times, and it's not looking well. It's looking like it's going to lift itself a little bit. So, but yeah, like I say, tonight's episode was full of quite important messages and quite a powerful communication. So yeah, do reach out if you are struggling, and I will, if I can't help myself, I'll point in the right direction on someone who maybe can. Well, guys, stay safe. Enjoy your Sunday night and have a great week ahead. Bye-bye for now.